Okay, so here we have a woman who is clearly biracial. Like, clearly this is not a black woman. Clearly this is not an African woman, right? And she made this post that said, watching black people do an exaggerated West African accent trying to be funny. And the caption was like, babe, like, you don't talk like that. Your parents are from Michigan. Okay, so clearly she was casting shade at African Americans. Okay, she's saying your parents are from Michigan. She's not referring to people who are African in this post. That is very obvious, right? But then when you look in the comments, everybody, and these are all African people, are commenting like, yeah, like Drea does this. I don't even know who Drea is. And then they said that Yvonne Orji also does this. Now, I know for a fact that Yvonne Orji is quite literally Nigerian. And then from reading the comments, I learned that whoever Drea is also Nigerian. So you all are talking about the children of Nigerians doing this, but you projecting it onto African Americans. Like that caption said, oh, your parents are from Michigan. But then y'all comment about a bunch of people whose parents are from Africa. Y'all, we gonna get into this. Now, there will be a lot to talk about even if this woman was a black African woman. Because, again, she made this post and the caption is like, babe, your parents are from Michigan. She's clearly referring to black Americans mocking Africans' accents for laughs or whatever, right? So there's already a lot to talk about there because, again, when you look at the comments, everybody is commenting about the children of African people. Now, this is my thing. Again, I don't know who Drea is, but I know Yvonne Orji's parents are Nigerian, and I believe she grew up in America, right? So she probably does not have a straight up Nigerian accent because she did not grow up in Nigeria. But I'm going to speak on this because my best friend is Caribbean, but she was born in America, right? And it's the same way my best friend does not have a Caribbean accent, even though her parents do, right? So if you were to speak to her, she sounds American, right? But when she goes to her parents' homelands, she can also put on that accent and sound like her parents because she grew up around them. And it's not her trying to mock her parents or mock the accent or be funny or whatever. No, that's who her parents are. Like, y'all, this annoys me because y'all be acting like y'all kids are not still of your background. Like, when we went to Guyana, my best friend and her sister, they can do Guyanese accents. They spoke like Guyanese people while we were in Guyana because that's where their mama is from. Their mama got a Guyanese accent. People speak how their parents speak or whoever raised them speak. Like, Cardi B has that thick Dominican accent. Even though she ain't grow up there, she was raised by her grandma who has that accent. People always say that I sound like I'm from the country. I'm not from the country, but my mama's parents are from the country, so maybe she sound like that. Now I sound like that or whatever, right? People sound like their parents. I used to teach chess, right? And there was this little boy, he was Indian. And I don't think he was born in India, but his parents definitely were. When I tell you he had a thick accent, I couldn't even understand what he was saying. I'm not even joking. There was another little Indian girl. She didn't have an accent like him. I had to ask her to translate because I was like, I literally don't know what this boy is saying, right? But my point is this. Because his parents had a certain accent, he picked that accent up just by being raised by them. It didn't matter that he did not live in India. The people who are raising him have that accent. Now, what's first on the agenda, I'm going to take a moment to defend people like Yvonne Orji and whoever Drea is and whatever, because I don't get how y'all move to other countries. So y'all will move from the Caribbean to the U.S. or, you know, the UK or whatever, and y'all have kids, and then you be mad when those kids participate in any aspect of your fucking culture. You sitting here complaining about Yvonne Orji having a Nigerian accent when the bitch is Nigerian. Like, are you fucking kidding, bro? But again, y'all be so mad at y'all kids for participating in any aspect of your culture because you view them as not whatever enough because they wasn't born there. And who fault is it that they wasn't born there? Yo goofball ass. So y'all sitting here complaining about literal Nigerians whose parents are from Nigeria speaking like they parents. Like, what? That does not even make any sense, right? But then let's get back to the fact that you tried to push this weird shit on the black Americans and pretend that we doing it to make a joke of y'all accent or whatever. Like, what are you talking about? Now that we have talked about the simple xenophobia aspect of it, let's peel back the next layer. You're not even black, homegirl. You can try to start as many diaspora wars as you want, attack black Americans as many times as you choose, and guess what? You're still not going to fit in within your community. I'm assuming she's a half Nigerian, half white woman, And clearly she figured the quickest way to be accepted by Nigerians is to, throw black Americans under the bus, talk about those akatas. Guess what, girl? When you go to Nigeria, they're still going to be calling you a white person. Guess what? You're still never going to fit in home, girl. Like, find a better way to try to embrace your culture. I keep telling y'all, there's a specific beef that biracials whose black parent is African have with African Americans. Now, I done told y'all 100 times, ain't no biracials black. They all racist. I mean, that's what comes with being non-black, right? But there is a specific beef with them biracials whose black parent is African, okay? There's a specific extra little step, because I promise you, they hate the fact that somebody like me who has no ties to Africa clearly looks more African than them. Y'all have commented under my channel a million times talking about I look Nigerian. Y'all stay under my comments talking about I look like I'm Yoruba. I promise you, ain't nobody in her comments saying that. And I promise you, that makes people like her feel a certain type of way. Them biracials whose black parent is African be going extra hard to talk that boo-boo talk about black Americans specifically. Again, she made this post talking about your parents are from Michigan. Meanwhile, all the actual Africans are commenting talking about, yeah, it's Africans doing this. Yvonne Orji, Drea, Michael Blackson. It's literal Africans who are doing this exaggeration of the African accent for jokes or whatever, right? But you see, this biracial woman attempted to try to throw black Americans under the bus because she wants to be perceived as more African, whatever. I promise you, they have a special, extra deep-seated hatred for black Americans. Pay attention to the doo-doo talk that they be talking. Pay close attention and think about why it is that they are talking that talk. Now, here we are. She made this goofball post attempting to throw black Americans under the bus. And mind you, it didn't even work, because all the actual black Africans were in the comments like, yes, Africans doing this. Yvonne Orji, Michael Blackson, Drea. Like, nobody even mentioned any black Americans, right? So she made this post attempting to throw black Americans under the bus because she wants to feel more rooted in her identity. Let's be honest. When somebody looks at her, nobody is thinking West Africa. Nobody, right? Nobody's looking at her and thinking, oh yeah, that's a Sierra Leonean woman. Nobody is thinking that, right? And she knows that, and it hurts. And she hates the fact that there are people like me out here with no direct ties to Africa who will be embraced in her own homeland before she would. She can go back to the place where her own parent is from. I don't know where her black parent is from. Maybe it's Nigeria, maybe it's Ghana, Senegal, who knows, right? She can go back there, and what do they call white people? Oyibo or whatever. They're going to be like, who is this white woman, right? Where somebody like me, somebody whose family has not stepped foot in Africa in 400 years, could go there and be embraced. That has to hurt.